Nobel Peace Prize laureate Muhammad Yunus, who will now be taking charge of the interim government. He has been named as the chief advisor of Bangladesh's interim government a day after Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina resigned and fled the country following a violent crackdown on a student-led uprising. Muhammad Yunus was appointed to the post by the Bangladesh president after holding meetings with student leaders and chiefs of the three military services. Though he spent much of his life in the public eye, politics is largely unexplored terrain when it comes to Muhammad Yusuf. In 2007, he did try to form a party, and that was something that only lasted for about 2 to 3 months. It was, an idea that he scrapped. It was a party that he formed to fill the vacuum. But he is someone who is very famous when it comes to Bangladesh. But the situation on the ground, what is that like? The number of dead, that death toll has now increased to 440. And meanwhile, key political opponents, including the former Prime Minister and opposition leader Khaleda Zia, has been released from prison. And my colleague Ghazali joins us from the Hindon Air Base in the National Capital Region. Ghazali, when we talk about Muhammad Yusuf, he's one of the most famous faces of Bangladesh, but he also has corruption charges against him. He was jailed, in January this year. Then he was released on bail. Will he manage to restore normalcy? Because he is someone who's famous and popular amongst the students. He has spoken to the students. He's also spoken with the army. What's the situation like on the ground?
See, right now when the Bangladesh army had promised that they will install an interim government in Bangladesh, speculations were right that obviously Awami League will not be in the power, but the opposition parties who were opposition parties during Sheikh Hasina's regime, like Khaleda Zia's Bangladesh Nationalist Party, Jamaat Islami, another party which was banned during Sheikh Hasina's tenure, is going to take over the government. But just to have a very moderate face at the top until the entire government formation takes place, Muhammad Yunus have been given the interim charge of the government. So he alone can't run the government. He will also have to take a full-fledged cabinet with him. So that is first step towards the new formation of the new government in Bangladesh, and his face appears to be acceptable to all the factions as of now, as was suggested by the army chief, Mr. Wakaruzzama. Now, what is the situation on the ground? In the last 48 hours since Sheikh Hasina fled Bangladesh, on the very first day, the day she was fleeing Bangladesh, we saw widespread vandalism and violence as well. That increased yesterday as well at multiple locations. Agencies reported that how houses or temples or places of worship of communities were targeted. Now the army claims that things are coming, their normalcy is getting restored, but it will take some time. It's not fully restored now because the student leaders who spearheaded the entire protest for the last 4 months, they are also on the streets coordinating with the security forces to maintain law and order. Now that is what is happening in Bangladesh. Meanwhile, here at Hindon Air Base, Sheikh Hasina is staying here, as we have been told, since she landed here a day before yesterday, and now we don't know the status of what is happening with her asylum application in the UK. UK authorities have clearly said that perhaps if you want to claim for an asylum, you first need to get into another safe country, apply for an asylum there, and then from there you can apply for asylum in UK. You can't travel into United Kingdom and then apply for asylum. That's not the norm there. So United Kingdom has also kind of shown that what kind of interest they have in granting asylum to Sheikh Hasina, and it perhaps will take some time, because these were the Western democracies like UK and US who were very critical of Sheikh Hasina's tenure back in Bangladesh. UK even went on to say that perhaps a UN-monitored probe is needed regarding the incidents involving human rights violation or the violence which took place before Sheikh Hasina fled Bangladesh. So somewhere the Western democracies who were critical of Sheikh Hasina have now shown a kind of intent that it will not be easy for her to get asylum there. So we don't know which other countries Sheikh Hasina is approaching for asylum, but we know for sure that as long as her asylum application is not processed in UK or any other country, she is going to be she is going to stay here in India. Her daughter works for an international organization in Delhi, and the government of India is keeping a close watch on all the developments, not just related to Sheikh Hasina, but also back in Bangladesh as to who will be part of the new government, who all will be part of the new interim government, which was promised by the Bangladesh Army chief.
Right, of course, Ghazali, also take us through, the situation on the ground. We do know that the curfew was lifted yesterday early in the morning. Has normalcy sort of started to trickle in when it comes to Bangladesh, or, is the unrest continuing as it was 24 hours ago?
See, multiple developments have taken place in the last 24 hours, and I'll just list a few so that our viewers can understand that what is happening in Bangladesh. One, the leaders or the ministers who were part of Sheikh Hasina's cabinet or Sheikh Hasina's cabinet colleagues still face a lot of threat, intimidation and security issues back in Bangladesh. Yesterday, the telecom minister who was part of Sheikh Hasina's government was detained at the airport while he was trying to flee, as claimed by the security forces in Bangladesh. They claim that perhaps this information minister was trying to come to India aboard a flight to New Delhi. So besides Sheikh Hasina, her cabinet colleagues back in Bangladesh who are left behind also face detention. They are also facing, perhaps the army will arrest them and proceed with a trial against them. The second major development has been that during Sheikh Hasina's 10-year tenure, she was accused of using extrajudicial methods to harass people, to harass her dissidents, and many people were also, she was accused of forced disappearance of many citizens. So what has happened since she has been thrown out of power, that many families who were the complainants in the case, or who had some family members missing for the last so many years, have approached the army headquarters, and now the same army which was accused of forced disappearances is uniting those missing members with their families since yesterday. So there have been missing members of Jamaat Islami Party who were missing for many years. So there have been reports that some of the families who have approached the army, they have managed to reunite with their missing families. The third is obviously a concern for India as well, is that what is happening with the minorities there. Multiple videos and reports emerged that how places of worship and people from the minority community were attacked, but a contrarian video also emerged from Bangladesh, where a leader of the Hindu community came out in the open saying that we are doing fine. There are incidents like that, but people or citizens are managing it on their own. They are protecting the places of worship. So such videos and pictures are emerging from Bangladesh, where student leaders who were part of this protest, or the volunteers who were part of this entire anti-quota protest, are also guarding places of worship. But the Foreign Minister, Mr. Jaishankar, said in the Parliament that still reports are coming in that there are places of worship of minority community which has faced attacks. So we can say that normalcy has not been restored yet until the full government, interim government takes kind of the charge of the government, or interim government is installed. Till then, perhaps the situation will remain fluid.